Well, hi! I hope I got this right. But it finally got through doing the research on the best places to start and what you probably have to know about to get the free help and money to start a business or to expand your business in Pennsylvania there. And there's a couple things because of the business you're in. I thought I didn't want to. I want to cover first because I don't want to get lost in all this stuff. We got about 100 pages of stuff here, so it's easy to get lost. But I'll go through it all so you understand what's here, and maybe how to choose the best things first. But here, there's two things that when you get in the state section for the money and help from your state government there in Harrisburg, there's a program that gives out advertising money to attract tourists and business to Pennsylvania. So I mean, you're in the advertising business. I thought, man, this is something you shouldn't miss probably and investigate further because there's two things. I would think there the people who get that money probably need help in advertising because they got to spend that money somewhere. And then the people giving it out the money, man, that's what they're trying to do. They're giving out money to advertise. And it seems that that's what a lot of your work is about. Also, there's another thing in the item on incubators, accelerators, and meetups and what they're offering. And I'll cover that a little more later, but there's one of those that I have here that specializes in media. I mean, they say digital media, but on these organizations or whatever, man, I mean, I know how much digital you are. I don't really know, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, this is people who's interested in growing that kind of thing and growing new enterprises in media. And that's what at least I think you're about. Well, let's get on with the stuff. Okay, right there in Montgomery County, first of all, there's nothing in the city. Your city, I guess, was incorporated into somebody else and everything. And there's not a whole lot of city money programs, but your county does. I mean, it's a pretty hip county. And don't forget, there you can get $6,500 to train any employee. See, there's a lot of training money locally, for businesses to be more competitive nationally, globally, or whatever. And so they give out grants. This is grant money. There's a lot of people really forget about this and don't realize. I mean, you'll go to the government and say, "Oh, you're having grant money," and they say, "No." Yeah, what about this? Somebody's going to give you, $6,000 to have somebody learn a procedure, or send all your people to learn customer service or something like that. Man, I've been to call centers where they get like $200,000 a year to train all their employees to how to annoy me at dinner time. Things like that. And this is per employee, so $6,500 employee. So that's there, and I have some videos there of the people who hand out this money. See, that's what I've been doing for a lot of years. I mean, I've been trying to document stuff that's out there, just not words on a page. So that's why I go out and interview people who give out this money and things like that. Now, you also have small business loans at your county level. And I have the links there to find out about that. And see, the thing, if the government is giving it out, sure, you go to the bank or whatever small business, and if the government's giving it out, number one, it's subsidized. Number two, it's a lot nicer if you can't pay. The government, all they care about is getting money for their investors, I mean, not the government, but banks. But the government is different. I mean, they have a bigger picture in mind. It's really about helping the community. So they're a little more forgiving, things like that. Man, I was looking at people who don't pay SBA loans back, and some of these franchisers, I mean, they have like a 90% fail rate because they convince the franchise people to get a loan. They get all the money, and then they go out of business. But the people, run the franchises, they don't care. They got their money already. Okay, free money to live on while you start a business. This is a program that is part of the Department of Labor. It varies from state to state, so you got to investigate if your state still has that. There's links there to verify or whatever about the program if they don't know what the hell you're talking about, because a lot of the government itself doesn't know what it has. And so tell them how to investigate. That's the one you want to know about. And it's really using your unemployment money. So if you're starting a new business or something like that, I mean, this is, you're not looking for a job, but you can still use that money. And that's how to find it. And I have videos there of how people use used it. Okay, here's a $750,000 loan to help grow your business. This is a county program, okay? Then here, staffing and employment team available at no cost. I mean, that's another penny. So if you're laying off people or trying to hire people, they'll do all that management kind of stuff for you too. And here's something that people don't really have: food-related business. Food is becoming a hip thing. New businesses, restaurants, and gourmet food items and stuff like that people make out of their kitchen, and all this kind of new things that are popping up in the food business. And people don't realize, God, the Department of Agriculture, the County Cooperative Extension Service will help you do that. And all the regulations you worry about with food and things like that, and what you need to make money, in your own kitchen. So I show you about that. Okay, the free service to help vets at 100%. I don't know if you're a vet or not, but if you know of anybody, let them know about this group, because any kind of money a vet needs for business, training, housing, or what, they've set up around the country these organizations at the county level that really get twice as much money for you, and people don't use them. So these are government offices or have employees that get paid by the government to get more money for you from the government. Twice as much, man. That's incredible to me. The government is paying money for you to figure out how to get more money for them, from them. Okay, here's another interesting thing I think as a businessman too. The district attorney will collect on bad debts for you. So you got a client, gives you a bad check or whatever. Man, instead of hiring an attorney or whatever and trying to do all this stuff, no, the government attorney will come and crash on that business, and people are more afraid of the government than they are of your attorney. So that's why, and it's free. Why pay attorney fees when you don't have to? Now here's something that people don't know about, and I think is one of the best things that we have in this country. See, I'm sort of anti-Google. Actually, I got an MBA in computers and database management back in the 70s. So Google is very important. But what happens in something like this is that you can't find stuff that is good. You could find stuff. See, Google is about making money for Google, right? That's why they're in business. So most of the stuff you're going to see is about as people trying to sell you something. See, and what I'm trying to do show people is that, hey, there's stuff out there for free that you don't have to pay for, but you're not going to find it in Google. Like here's something. If you go to Google and put in like debt problems, okay, you have 140 million websites. What the hell are you going to do with 140 million websites? Okay, see, now the website I'm giving you here, 211 for your area here, now it's either on the phone and call and use the phone too, or online, and if you put in the same thing, you get 34 websites. Now the difference between 140 million and 34 is not that you'll never live long enough to do the 140 million, but all of these websites solve debt problems for free. See, everybody on Google, at least 99% of them, are people going to charge you money to do this. These are all free because they get government grants or whatever to do this. And this is a database and a phone you could use for anything. Your employee or you yourself have a problem. You want to fix up your home, or grandma needs a new roof, or any kind of community problem that you have. You have to need health care. You could call them at 211 and they'll find a government agency or a nonprofit organization that provides that service for free. Now, some will be income, requirements, and some won't. But man, people don't realize that is there by phone call. You'll never find these organizations in Google unless you know the exact name, and maybe you could find them. And that's why this is a help source that I think is the second best source of finding information in our society now. At least free information. Google is, I can never do Google. But I'm trying to show people the things they don't have to pay for, because we're stopping from doing things in life because we think we have to pay for something to do anything, and we don't. If you know your options, and Google doesn't show you your options. I mean, they will, but man, it's going to take you a lifetime to figure it out. Okay, now another thing like that is your library. Not only do they, have free Wi-Fi, and some of them have even Wi-Fi. You could take it home for free. I didn't notice that in Montgomery County, but other places I've seen. Or actually, what they also do is sit down with you and help you with your internet. A lot of people, are unfamiliar enough with the internet, and you got to set up your own store, things like that. They'll sit down one-on-one and do it. Depends on that. But more importantly, they have access to 2 databases of grants. Now, there's something called the Foundation Center. It's really like the main source of grant information. I'm really more free money and grants. Grants is just a small percentage. Like in the government, only 20% of the free money that the government gives out is called grants. And the rest is called something else, like loans you don't have to pay back, or direct payments. And so that's why you miss 80% if you're just looking for grants. But grants here, because most of that is from foundations. Now, what they have is access to 2 directories that cost money, up to $1,500 a year. And it's silly at $1,500 a year when they just say, hey, what kind of grants are maybe from foundations that are helpful for me, in what I'm trying to do. And that's where this is. Now, they have one database just on private grants. So this is individuals, grants to individuals. And the other one is for organizations, businesses, nonprofit organizations, most for nonprofit organizations. But there's some that will be for both. And that's how to access those and save yourself, $1,500 or whatever it is. And it's amazing that, foundations that give out this grant money, 90% of them don't even have websites. So that's why this database is so important, because they don't even have websites. So it's hard to find these people. And that's what now here's another source of money for business that people don't realize, small business, is Starbucks. Right, Starbucks is very community oriented. So they say, well, actually, if you're working for Starbucks, you get a college education for free. Now, that's pretty cool. But they have business for money for small business. And what they do is give grants to local community development banks. And later on, I have videos on that. But here's a video of their program at Starbucks, where the money goes to in community development grants. And I have a fellow there who's on the board of a community development bank, shows you about, because these are banks, again, they're not just making money for investors in Wall Street. The purpose of that bank is to grow the community. So it's a better people to deal with, I think, but I'm biased, so don't trust me. Okay, now here's also the one best thing I think every small business should know, big business or whatever. I used to use this. I started learning all this stuff by helping Fortune 500 clients use government programs. I charge them tens of thousands of dollars to go around and get all this stuff I'm showing you now. And I got bored of helping rich people, really. And that's why, man, how's the average person want? But the business development centers, and here's the one for next to you. Now, they do almost anything. God, you have any kind of problem, just know that, let them know you're in business, let them know what you're talking about, because they handle these kind of problems all the time, and it's marketing help, it's financial help, it's doing a business plan, technology help, all this stuff. They know a lot about the programs. I'm telling you about too, they probably not know about all of them, not all of them, but nobody can, but they'll know about a lot of these programs, and they're one-on-one counseling. This is absolutely free, and they're getting grants. See, anybody else, you go and Google for stuff like this, you're going to get people going to sell you something. And if they're not selling you something right away, they have it in the back of their mind. They got to get something from you, And so this is, people are doing this true love. They're already getting paid. They don't have to get more money from you. Watch that video. It tells you about how you want to learn anything or get help for anything. How, I show you what it costs to get it, privately, and they're free. And there's people here that are doing it, and so they tell you, it's real. I don't make this stuff up. I may embellish a bit, but that's the huckster in me. Okay, now here for Pennsylvania, Money and Help Start a Business. Man, they're loaded with programs. Now here's $5,000 to get customers overseas. This is a federal program, and it really goes through the state. That's where a lot of money comes from. It comes from the Fed, goes to the state, and then maybe hits to the local government too. But here, say, I mean, this means if you're looking for clients, in other words, you have an advertiser. Okay, you're looking for maybe advertisers and or manufacturers of French perfume, and you think that they should sell in the United States. Yeah, so you can get $5,000 to go over there and try to market to these people. So you get a big contract, to advertise them. Wow! And not only that, they set up the appointments for you now. Why? I mean, if you go and Google this and try to get a consultant to do this, they'll charge you tens of thousands of dollars, because they got a boat to pay off. And I have videos there of the people who actually do this. They actually check out the background, like for $100 or $200, whatever it is. You're about to deal business with somebody. See, they dispatch people from the embassies just for you to go out and check out these people for you. So why don't you use this? And here's another service. Man, they come out and evaluate your business for free. And it's mostly manufacturing, but they'll do it for others. You can contact them, and they do a half a day for free to evaluate your business. Man, you go to Booz Allen or somebody like this to do this kind of stuff, it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars. And again, they get grants to do this. That's what they're doing. That's all they're supposed to do. So they're not trying to milk money from you, and that's important. Okay, venture capital. This is what's interesting to me. I mean, there's 20 or 30 programs here, and you can go through the list. But venture capitalists, what they're trying to do in Pennsylvania is give money to venture capitalists so they invest in you. Okay, wow. Now, so you want to know what venture capitalists are getting that money, because they're required to invest in people like you who have ideas in Pennsylvania and want to grow jobs. There's even a program in here. If venture capitalists lose money, then they'll pay the venture capitalists back. So if they invest a couple $100,000 in you and you screw up and blow all the money or whatever it is, then they'll write them another check, to these venture capitalists. Why they do this, I don't know. I mean, I give up trying to figure out why things are there. I'm just trying to show people they are. And you should know about it. Low interest lines of credit for small business, a lot of technology stuff, green, or invest in money to commercialize a new idea. Maybe that's you. I mean, with what you're talking about. Venture capitalists, again, for innovative companies, assist your business to become more competitive, right? So you want to be more competitive in something or whatever. So this is this expertise that come out and parachute in for free. $100,000 in tax credits for business, provide cash, services, and property to organizations. This is if you're giving stuff to nonprofits that you get another benefit from this. I mean, $750,000, $2,000 matching grant for those with low income to save. Yeah, this is amazing. The government has they match your savings to start a business. So the programs there at list, go through. It's fun to see the list. 700 grants to purchase plant and equipment, capital access, tax credits to fix up your building, all kinds of stuff. You never know. Lots of them for tourism. They're trying to start tourism. And here's for small towns. The government's really trying to start economic businesses in small towns. So, I mean, you can go out, say an hour away from where you are and start your business somewhere else, because there may be more money for that. And that's it. Because now in technology, who the hell cares where you are? You have to just drive a little longer to the airport when you're traveling somewhere, or maybe not, because traffic is so big in bigger cities. So there's all that, who to contact locally, grants, loans, and everything, whatever. And also, here's something on an SBA loan, and how not to think you need some expert. And I have a short video there, go through how to find the best place to give an expert, because it's all about finding a business that has experience in your kind of business. People say no because they don't understand the business. So how do you find that? And the data is there. I show you in that video to find it. And then I have a video there of somebody actually in Philadelphia. These people, I went up and interviewed a banker who gives out the money, and it's really a business-to-business service business like you that got the money. And so that may be interesting. Now, here's one of the best things, I think. Better than a grant, better than anything else that maybe I have in this thing that is the most rewarding for the long term is government contracts. Man, remember, the government buys more of anything than anybody in the world, and that means advertising too. I mean, whether it's advertising, getting people in the army, or if it's advertising, their healthcare program because they want more people to sign up. Okay, now that's a system to learn. I mean, it's not so much, who you know at the country club. It's a bureaucratic system to learn. And like my sister frames stuff for the government. Man, she does $1 million in some garage out in the middle of nowhere. She figured out the system. But what's neat is that there are offices again that get grants to help you figure out the system. So they're not going to charge you a nickel. You don't. I mean, I have 3 or 4 videos here of government officials who give this free service, and they all say, no, you don't need to hire a consultant. You don't need to hire an expert to do this. We do all this for free. And that's what people don't know. But they're afraid of the government or whatever, so they think, and you do what you want if you have money. That's what's great about America. But you don't have to. And there's a way to learn it. And they're part of the system. And actually, there's grant money to give you a grant to learn how to get a contract. Man, now that's bizarre to me. There's another place where the government is giving you money to figure out how to get more money from them. Why? Mine's not the reason why. I'm just trying to show people how to do it. Okay. All the service can try. Where is the office close to you? And there's probably more than one. There are other organizations do it, like a business development center could help you with that too, that we talked about early. Okay, here's another thing: the incubators, accelerators, and meetups. Now, this is what's happening, around our office. Government agencies are interested in this, local governments, state governments, things like that, because it's a way to take people with new ideas, give them money, seed money. Sometimes they become your partner. Sometimes they just give you a grant, outright grant or whatever. Here's the major ones in your area. A lot of them are high-tech oriented, but you never know. Here's one for food in France, actually, this guy. I watched the interview I did. You could be from Philadelphia and have a food business, and they give you $100,000, fly you to Paris for 3 months. So, see, what they do in that accelerator kind of program, they mentor you, and they give you contacts, they give you all this kind of stuff, and help or whatever to grow your business. That's what this is about. It's really getting people into the system and learning the system and how to use it. There's some people who've done it, and how to. Okay, and meetups. Now, meetups is another thing, is that you could go to a meetup, and this is a way to learn something. You want to know about marketing or something like that, or starting a business or getting some of this money. I mean, you go in that meetup.org, and you can put in business or so, and there'll be a half a dozen meetups going on almost every week around you, and these are free, or if you have to pay $10 for a lousy pizza or something like that. But there are people involved in this, something new you're doing, and it's better to go to a meetup on it, because then you go up the learning curve faster. Otherwise, you don't know for sure what you're doing. You're going to go on the internet and search, and somebody's going to get money from you. And see, the thing is, we don't even know the questions to ask. That's why I where the question mark suits. Like if you're looking for free money, say, I don't want a grant, I want a grant. But no, you don't, because if you're looking for a grant, you're going to miss out 80% of the free money out there. So that's what's important about that. Okay, let's see how we get here. Meetups, other grants, I got some other stuff. Oh, this is the savings accounts where they have you. There was one at the state level, and there are 13 other programs in the state where you could save money for your business, and they kick in another $1. They kick in another $5, whatever. It's mostly for low-income people, but it's amazing to me if somebody's going to double, triple your money every time you put it in the bank to start your business. I mean, that's nuts. I don't know. That's terrific, actually. So to know about those things. Okay, and how this is actually arts-related business. Now, I don't think your arts-related business, but something you should know about. Because the government gives out, national endowment gives out money to artists, and locally in your state, they're where to get like $2,500 to $200,000. If you arts-related business, now you in marketing, then your ideas are probably pumping out like spaghetti, and you always have something new. So if it's arts-related, that's it. But more importantly for arts-related is this website called Patreon. And what's neat about that, I interviewed the guy. You see the interview here is they give out money for artists to live on, and a monthly check. And I said, oh, how many people are going to do it? It's a crowdfunding site. We'll cover crowdfunding a little later. And how many people are going to do that? Man, they give out $1 million a month now. $1 million a month to artists every month. It's incredible. Okay, here's some local small business, not local, but small business grants around. There's not a whole lot. A lot of companies say they give out grants and whatever, and they do, and it's cheap advertising for them. But here, angels and accredited investor. Angel investors. This has become big because all the fat cats now think the one percenters kind of people. They think they're so smart in business and they want to help all these other businesses. So, they want to have their own little wine bar. They want to have, be involved and show off how smart they are. And so these people are all in a barrel now. So you could go to this website here, Angel Investors in Philadelphia, and you'll see like 4,893 fat cats looking for people like you with ideas to invest in. And what's neat, to me, when I grew up, in Pennsylvania, by the way, in Wilkes-Barre, I thought you had to belong to some fancy country club to meet all these people. No, they're all in a barrel here. Yeah, they're all saying, hey, we're looking for people like you, to do this kind of stuff. That's what's so neat. I mean, the technology has has made a lot of things easier. And then there's other websites that do the same thing, investor.com, fundingpost.com, fundit.com, and these things, and that all there. Now, here's another thing, too, that we now have crowdfunding where the crowds invest in ideas, and pretty soon, it's available now for anybody, but really crowdfunding for investors to invest in your idea as a business idea is limited to fat cats, people who have $200,000 a year or more of income, and there's websites for this. See, what's neat, it costs you nothing to put your idea on these websites and say, hey, I need 100 grand, to get this idea, and I'll give you X% of the business, or however it is. Dozen websites, dozen people I have interviewed there that tell you about how this stuff works. It's growing, like especially overseas in England. They're really way ahead of us on all this kind of stuff. It's a way. It's cheaper. You don't need a team of lawyers to do all this kind of stuff, and that's what's important because a platform takes care of it. Now, here's also non-traditional loans. That's right. This is you go in the bank, they're in the money, so they want to take like a 1% interest. If you put your money in the bank, they give you 1% in your money now, whatever the heck it is, and then they lend it out to 12%, right, to some small business. So that's 11% margin they're living on. Now, see, the platforms are putting them out of business. Because what happened now is they're charging. You put in on one of these platforms, because they don't have a bureaucracy of all these fat cats who want to join country clubs. They just have a website, and what happens is that they give you 3 or 4%, and then they lend it out for like 6 or 7 or 8%. So you're making more money, you're getting money cheaper, and the only people who are losing are the fat cats on Wall Street, or the investors. So that's why these platforms are important. Here's Kiva. It's very popular, I see, in Philadelphia now. And there's 0% interest. Wow, who would have thought? There's that, and here again, other community source capital. These are other platforms that lend money to small businesses. Actually, there's one here. Even you don't even need a balance sheet. You don't need a credit check or anything. You just have to prove you have customers. That's it. Wow. And that's what's amazing to me. I mean, so many things now are non-traditional things, I think, are growing. All these things like this are growing in our society. The other stuff is shrinking. Crowdfunding money, we talked about it in the other report also that I sent you, that this is growing. It's growing exponentially. It doubled or more last year, and it's keep going. They're about $34 billion, and that's because it's free to use. It's no income requirements, no credit check. You keep the money forever, and it's amazing to me. And then I have here is 49 tips for a successful crowdfunding campaign. So if you're wondering, hey, how do I do this stuff or whatever, and this is where the crowds, give you the money. People out there, the millions of people looking for things, to do. It costs you nothing to try. And see, that's what's so neat about this to me, is you go and fail. Man, because that's what I mean. I've written 100 books and I've only made money on 10 of them. So I know 90% of stuff I do fails. And you just got to fail for free so you can keep doing it. And that's what this is about. Shows you how to do all that. and how to even raise money for expenses in business. And here, download a free ebook on how women are more successful at crowdfunding than men. Because in venture capital money and all these fat cats, it's guys. 95% of venture capital money comes from men. So they invest 90% of their money in other men. Wow, but women, 45% of the women who invest on crowdfunding money, are 45% of are women who are investing on crowdfunding. So that means women are now making more money on crowdfunding than men. So that's it's leveling the field, and that's what's neat about crowdfunding money. It's getting rid of fat cats, getting rid of people with cigars who think they know everything and they don't. That people tell you, and that's what it is. Your customer tells you what's good or bad, and that's why you got to get there as soon as you can. And this is a way to do it without even having a product. That's what's so neat. Okay. Okay, here I go through the selling on the internet. This may or may not be helpful for you, but how to find ideas, what's the idea, and even how to get $10,000 a month free to market. And it's really free money for nonprofits to get and raise money for themselves on the internet. But see, what I think it's a valuable thing to do is find a nonprofit to work with. Because, like anything, I mean, you could go to all the seminars and stuff in the world to figure out about, internet marketing and all this kind of stuff. And people charge you thousands and thousands of dollars. It'd be better to find a nonprofit, get them signed up for this $10,000 a month. You run the campaign so you learn how to do this. So if you have $10,000 of real money a month to know how to do this, that's better than, it's like swimming. You're going to go in a classroom and learn how to swim, or you're going to get your ass in the water. And this is what this does, and you'll learn more about marketing on the internet than ever before. And here's what's actually happening, and here's how to get free help on all that kind of stuff too. How to start a store on the internet, because now, when I grew up, then you needed $500,000 to start a store. Now you need 20 cents, and you're in the biggest mall in the world. Like Etsy or Amazon and all. That's all it costs. And it costs no special expertise. So I got all these videos and examples of people who've done that, changed their life in 6 months, and been able to give up their career to do things like this. Other things about starting your business, they're inspirational kind of videos that I have here. Business ideas that you never even thought of. I don't know if you know about Airbnb. There's a business idea. So many people have extra rooms and everything, but they don't want to do the nonsense online. So now, businesses start up, you do it for people. So you split the money with them. So that's why there's so many other ways now to make money. Auto repair bills at 50% off and stuff like that. So go through that list, be interesting. And here, what I have here, actually one on that list is sending things free. That's anywhere in the world, instead of doing FedEx overseas and everything, how to get it free. There's a guy who has a platform for this, and it's a cute and clever idea. Okay, justice and bad customers. Remember, this is what I've used a lot in my life when people mess you over, as a small business or big business, whatever. Why hire an attorney at $200 an hour when you could find the government office that regulates that business, say like your insurance company screws up or something and doesn't want to pay your claim. Well, you could fight with them or hire an attorney to try to get it paid, but it's probably going to cost you more. No, you find the regulator, and I show you how to do this at your state level, who you complain to them. Now the regulator has to investigate. They have to. Okay, so now the insurance company gets something from the regulator who could put them out of business. See, and see, it becomes cheaper for that big company to pay you off than to keep talking even with the regulator. So this is how the small guy gets justice in the system. I show you all about that in different ways, because even lawyers are that way. So you get power over an attorney. Well, that sounds like power over attorney, to do that, because they're regulated and they don't want some bad stuff about them, and or people who know are able to find who doesn't like them. And what they've done wrong. And then also I tell you where to find free help to find anything else. And there's 3 places. Number 1 is that 211 I talked about, Number two is how do you use your local library. And number three was the best, I think, that people don't realize is your elected official. Your elected official, man, this is why these people stay elected all the time, because they're doing little favors for people who are their constituents. So if you have trouble getting a contract or any kind of trouble, they want to help you, and they have people on their staff, that's all they do, is help you. Because if they help you with something, getting that government loan or grant or anything like that, or you have trouble marketing or anything, you just call them up and see, because they may know somebody or whatever, because if they help you, then you'll vote for that son of a gun no matter what they do. And they got the power to do that. And the way I see it is that if you go to the government to get that information, you're going in the front door. They have a back door phone number to call, because the bureaucrats really work for the elected officials. They don't work for us, because the elected officials pay their bill. They have to get Congress to pass a bill every year for them to get paid. So they treat them nicely, right? So it's using the system. That's all about. Right or wrong, I don't know. But to me, this is the way I see the system as. And I'm just trying to educate more people to use the system instead of bitching about it. We got a lot of bitch about, though, don't we?